Welcome to Safe Space, a place where real stories are shared, hard questions are answered, and growth begins. Safe Space is a place for a young woman navigating life, searching for purpose, facing challenges, and daring to dream. So at Safe Space, we share about the real issues that affect us, the real issues that affect our identity, personal growth, relationships, faith, and so much more. So if you're, whatever stage of life you're at, whatever stage of journey you're on as a young woman, this is a place for you. My name is Livia Arinda. I'm a life coach, and I welcome you all to Safe Space. Today on the show, I'm not alone. I have amazing ladies here, and I will request them to introduce themselves, starting from my right. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dear listeners. My name is Asinde Fiona Proskovia. I'm a law student at Makerere University and the founder of the African Retrieve and Recycling Labs in Tororo District.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, dear viewers, and thank you so much, Livia, for hosting us. My name is Akagunda Aleni. I'm a secondary school teacher. I do teach literature English. I volunteer with Family Life Network under their program BANG, Becoming a New Generation, and I'm a peer mentor with Women Solidarity Initiative Uganda. I'm a member of Girls and Mentorship Space.
Wow,
with Proskovia. We are proud members. Yeah, thank you so much for today, and I can't wait to share, learn from this space.
We are glad to have you on the show.
Well, I am Kathy Ishimye. I am a journalist and a businesswoman. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. We are glad to have all of you here, and I believe everyone who is watching is going to learn something, because this is a place where everyone is free to share. And as I've said, we are going to talk about the real conversations which most of the people fear to attack. And our topic today, we are going to talk about sexual integrity amidst pressure in today's world. And recently someone asked me a question which I want to ask you who is watching us. Someone said, in our current generation, do we have young ladies who are still virgins, like many young women who are still virgins? And I want to ask you the same question. Check in your community, wherever you are. Ask yourself, do we still have more people, many young women who are virgins? And before we dive deep into our topic today, I want our panel to first explain to us, when someone says sexual integrity, what does it mean? How can someone, in simple terms, understand sexual integrity?
Personally, I'll look at sexual integrity in relation with the Bible. To me, sexual integrity means choosing to honor your body, honoring God using your body. In what I mean is you should be following what the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, in verse 6 rather. The Bible says that do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor your body, honor God with your body. So to me, sexual integrity is more of the 1 Corinthians chapter 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Proskovia. I'm not going to go so much away from what she has said. Sexual integrity goes, like, it describes the way you hold your personal principles, your values, how you hold yourselves, your personal standards, all the way from when you are single to it cuts across to marriage. Sticking to you being faithful to yourself first before you get somebody to be faithful to. Like when you're married, you have a person to be faithful to. You're not going to be cheating. That's all integrity through. And it aligns with the purpose God has for us with our sexuality. Yeah, that's it to me.
Well, mine, it's more of like what your beliefs are and your values as a person, and more of, let's say, when it comes to sexual matters, things that you believe are the right things to do and not going away from what you believe in.
Wow. So it is aligning with your values, with your faith.
Yeah, values,
even when the world
beliefs.
around you says otherwise.
Yes.
Wow. That's so good. And we are talking about sexual integrity amidst pressure in today's world. So what is the source of this pressure? Where is this pressure coming from?
Yeah, to me, we are in a generation that is many people call rotten, or many people will say we are in a generation that is, I don't know, but it's weird that at 14 you're going to find a girl has already started sleeping with men. At 9, a boy has already started sleeping with younger girls, and that's how bad it is. So we are in a generation where a person is going to tell you that keeping yourself sexually pure is actually being outdated and traditional. They are going to tell you, you know, you have to practice. Practice makes perfect. And most men are going to tell you, you know, I can't marry a virgin. I can't date a virgin. Those people are so outdated, you know. Yeah, so that's how far we've gone with this generation, and a few people will believe when you tell them that I'm actually waiting onto that person that I will wed to sleep with. Because sexuality, God is the author of sexuality. He created us men or women for a purpose. He knew that we had to enjoy this thing, and you know, we are sexual beings. Yeah, and that's what we cannot shy away from. But, and again, being that God is the author of sexuality, gives us a significance that being created in the image of God, we have the ability to control ourselves. So we are not like animals that wherever you're going to see an opposite gender, you jump on them and sleep with them. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Well, where is the source of this pressure, that makes people fail to be sexually pure?
The pressure comes from very many places. One is also culture. In some societies, people still think that for someone to prove that you're a real man or a real woman, you're supposed to engage into sexual intercourse. And this is common in some cultural practices that people still do. Someone was telling me that among the Gishu, after the Embalu, you're supposed to you're supposed to have someone that if you don't, that thing does not dry. I'm not a Gishu myself, but that's what people say. And I'm sure if someone had this from someone else, they would maybe think there's something maybe they're missing out. Someone would be like, if even culture is telling us to do this, that means maybe
this
there's something.
This is actually from a person we trust,
yes,
the elders.
Yes, from the elders, it is the right way to go. But then also it is social media. You know, there's a lot of nudity and obscene dressing and indecency going all on social media. And naturally, for men, case, you know, men are visual. They always want to touch and, you know, do and feel what they see. Yes, and see what they see. And now currently, because these things are done by young kids, I'm seeing how kids are appearing on prom parties. Senior 4 is it prom party, and you're seeing a young girl of like 15, 16. The kid has come with a slit up to the
guys.
Up to almost someone is almost half dressed, and they're young kids. They're young kids but with big bodies. You see someone is young like 16, but because naturally there's a way God created us like women, by the time you clock into adolescence stage, you're already maturing and the body is growing because they're preparing you. So you find a 16-year-old, because of the body, someone has big hips and you know,
and the
nyash is nyashing. And because they are going into adolescence, the skin is skinning, so they're all looking good, but when they're a young kid. So these kids, you find that because of such environment they are put themselves in, so you find men approaching them, and the man will tell them, you see, now for you already have these hips. It shows that you can manage these things. It shows that. But I also think society has neglected its role. I don't understand why on prom parties people come indecently dressed. I've even failed to understand the essence of all these things, because it's now becoming like more of, I see kids coming in expensive cars. Now you find that kids whose families cannot afford those things, a kid will tell them, I want you to be my prom date, but I'm going to bring in like maybe a Volkswagen. A Volkswagen.
Yes, of course, nothing comes on a
Yes,
nothing comes on a cheaper price, of course.
But
You
then
have to.
I want you to do this and this. Now there's also another trend that's ongoing, is of the homosexuality and whole that thing. You find very many people are finding themselves into that whole space because of the pressure that social media is bringing. In order for you to fit in, there's a certain aura you have to exit out there. I'm rich, I'm driving this expensive car, I'm holding this expensive phone, and this whole thing always comes at a price. So the social media pressure, to me, I think is what has caused that has caused many people to fail to be sexually.
Wow.
But also on the societal pressure and the neglect that most people in the society have put in this whole thing. The parents are no longer sitting their children down to tell them at a young age that this is good, because having sex is not something bad. But which
at
age?
What time?
Yeah, at what time?
But even parents care.
So
We have so many absent parents lately.
Yeah.
They're busy out there doing their own things, but they just leave the children to whoever that can manage to take care of. And these people do not take their time to tell their kids the different things that they should be knowing.
But you've talked about, and I remember some story of Form 1. We had a girl in my Form 1 who was very perverted.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
What were you doing in Form 1?
I was very tiny, very
Eating snacks.
eating snacks, and I was very stubborn, jumping up and down, causing chaos in school, like just a stubborn young kid. And this kid was very perverted, but I got interested in knowing, where does she learn all these things. She used to come with those pornographic magazines. I remember she used to come with those pornographic magazines, and of course, like all young people, you'd hide yourself to see what are these things. So
You want to
know.
know.
So I would ask her, where do you get this thing? So the
Actually-
issue was the maid. They had a maid at home, so the maid used to do this, and I think the maid, because I think there was no someone to help her meet her sexual desire, used to do these things with her kids instead. She'd tell the kid, you do this, rub your thing on mine. How funny all that sounds.
And
it shows. So it has reminded me about parental negligence.
Parents neglect telling their kids these things, and they think maybe they are shy, they are not giving it time, and yet these kids are going to if they don't get this information from the right sources, they are going to get the options. They are going to look for this information from other sources, and in which most of the times the sources are inappropriate. They are going to distract them from the real thing, the correct information that they should have gotten from the right people, their parents, community leaders, religious leaders. So I really think, instead of shying away from telling kids what sexuality is, keeping themselves sexually pure, parents, everyone, guardians should be open. Teachers, they should be open.
It should be a normal thing to start talking about these things while you see your kids are developing into an adolescent age. I think these are some of the things that parents should be openly talking about with their kids, as they shouldn't just leave it for the teachers and the other people out there, or maybe the internet, to teach our children, because we're in an era whereby we have access to all information.
Yes.
So it's up to you to choose how you consume that
information
and how you use
consume.
it.
So we are already in this world, and there is a lot of pressure. So there is no way how we can run from it. We just need to know how to live with it. Yes. So as we continue to discuss about these topics, we are going to first go for a short commercial break, and we are coming back. Don't go away. Welcome back from our short commercial break, and we are still continuing with our topic. We are sharing about sexual purity amidst pressure in today's world. And before we went for the commercial break, we talked about the sources. We looked at actually what sexual purity, sexual integrity means. He said it is honoring your body. One of our panelists said it is honoring your body, knowing that your body is a temple of God. And we looked at the sources of pressure. We said it's social media, sometimes culture, sometimes it's brought by the people we live with, the generation, technology, and everything. So as we continue, we are going to see now, already we are in this world, and the pressure is not there. We are not going to run away from this world. So how are we going to live with this pressure, and how are we going to manage it? How are we going to remain pure, sexually pure in this world where the world around us says otherwise? So how can a young woman remain sexually pure amidst this pressure in today's world?
Personally, I think it's all about learning how to control yourself and how to manage the different temptations we're having. The temptations are a lot out there. There's so many things that are being offered to so many girls out there. And not just the girls, even the boy child. There's so many temptations out there. It's a matter of learning to just control yourself and your desires. Basically, for me, that's number one. As long as you're able to control that, everything else is able to move.
Well, I would advise a girl child or a boy child out there who would like to stay sexually pure in this weird generation to first understand that sex is not only done in the body. Actually, they say that the sex you have physically is actually like 11% of what you have with the soul and spirit. So they should know that sex is not only just not physical, but even in the spiritual realm. So it doesn't start when you just sleep with a person. It means that by the time you sleep with a person, it started long time ago by filling your mind with maybe watching things that are enticing you into doing the act, looking at naked women, or looking at, so you filled your mind with sexual enticement already, and it's going to let you be in a physical act. So understanding to, like she has said, that we have to control our mind, what we consume with our mental, what we look at, the music we listen to, what we read, the literature we consume, and then getting satisfied with what you currently have and working hard towards getting what you desire in life. Like most of the times, people who have sex with people they would not like to have it with, maybe they've bought you something and you have to pay in return. So
iPhones, of course.
iPhone. iPhones.
You give in your body for an iPhone.
And even the company. The company you're having, friends around you. If you're a person,
if you're in the wrong company, you're definitely likely to join them in whatever they're doing.
That is trending of buddies. Is it buddies?
Besties.
Besties, buddies. Some people feel like if you're not belonging to maybe a group, you're having a cycle, you're hanging around with, you're less of a human being, or you're missing
Some
something.
groups are good.
No, there are these ones that the society is overhyping.
The buddies.
The ones that are always in bars hanging around with older men, or the ones who are seeming to be having money, who are seeming to be living a good life. So some young girls or boys who are not part of those groups feel like maybe they are left behind, or maybe there's something they are missing. But darling, I want to tell you there's nothing you're missing. You're not rushing to go anywhere in the first place. You're here, take your time. But then also make sure that you know who you are. The only problem is people forget where they come. Some of these people you admire or you see they're having. Some people it is family.
Yes.
You get some people they have come from good families. They can afford to give them this. You know your background, know where you're coming from. Know that these things can be gotten over time. Plan so that also when your time comes you can be able to access these things. Then also that's why many girls and can no longer be sexually pure. It's because they have become so materialistic. They want to be driven in expensive cars. They want to be given iPhone. They want to be taken to dates.
And yet there's nothing for free.
Yes, there's nothing for free. So someone is going to tell you.
But you can get a friend who is just giving you without strings attached.
Where?
That friend is never there. Eventually they want something from you in return. There is nothing
for free. There is nothing for free. And I don't believe even our parents educate us because they want to help them in their old age. Nobody offers anything.
Not even your own parents.
They always expect something in return.
Yes, there is it. And in most cases, because actually most people it's not that they want sex from you, but because it's the only thing you can.
Yeah, you can put on the table.
You can offer. You have nothing else to offer.
Make sure you add value onto yourself so that when someone comes to you, you have
More than sex to offer.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you can put on table is your private.
I mean,
Wow. So now you're talking about self-awareness. You've talked about checking our friends,
Yeah,
our
our circle,
circles. So what about now for me if I've already messed up? What can I do? Because sometimes things happen. Maybe by the time I did whatever I did, I was not aware of myself, or I thought it was the right way to do things, and then things didn't go well. What advice do you give someone who has already
Personally, I
up?
believe in what they call secondary virginity. Secondary virginity is a state whereby you choose as a person to abstain. You've lived into sexual immorality before. You've lived an impure life, but you wake up one after realizing. Of course, it comes after you realizing that what I've been doing is going to run me into problems. Because the truth is, when you live such a careless sexual life, you find yourself into very many problems. You're suffering from infections here and there. You're lowering your life expectancy. You're sleeping with this person. You're sleeping with the other person. This one has syphilis. The other one has gonorrhea. The other one has. You're picking each and everything from wherever you can get it. So in that state, you find that along the way you lose yourself because you get mentally traumatized. All the time you're in the hospital, you can't settle and do anything productive. And even some of this where you find, I've met very many guys who see someone looking so good, but when they have a very bad stench because of diseases, STIs, they have treated, and because it is recurrent, you've just treated as if the disease is getting to heal. Someone tells you, another sickness comes because someone tells you know what, come and I take you to Sheraton, and now there is the current train that is killing our girls. Going to Dubai, people going to Dubai is 5 million,
and you find that most of those people
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so and you find that most of those people who want to take you to such expensive places, they don't even want to use protection, and so
it's not even expensive places like people make them seem. It's not more expensive than your life, because now what is 5 million when you're going to get a sickness that you're going to treat for your whole life,
for the rest of your life.
As we conclude, I would like us to give one last word to a woman out there who is okay. Now that was for those who have not yet who have already messed up. But then, what do you advise now? Someone who has not yet gone into it, how can they protect themselves as we conclude?
abstain. No, you said I've not messed up.
Most people say, okay, for those who have not yet messed up, my advice is try as much as possible to avoid anything that is going to land you into trouble. For some of us
Who have
already tested the goods of this world, I'm going to only tell you one thing. If you're having a partner, just practice safe sex. That's all I can say. Don't say, he's my partner, I trust him. Never trust a man. And never trust a woman. You can never be safe. So make sure you're practicing safe sex.
And even
Thank
faithful.
you so much.
In human beings?
No, of course you try, but of course you cannot control how someone moves and what.
You may
But
try,
sex is
but
okay.
your partner may not. Or somebody else's partner
I
may not.
think you need to make it more plain. Please let condoms be your friend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you. I love the way you're talking to that young woman there, and I know you've learned something. I'm so honored to have you all today, and I'm looking forward to having you one more time sometime, and we discuss other serious conversations. And if you're out there and you want to talk to our coach, or you want to be mentored, you don't want to make mistakes, because sometimes we make these mistakes. because we lack mentorship, because we lack the right associations, reach out to me on 0705-232311. And you can also send in a question which you would want us to talk about. You may be going through something and you want us to talk about it here at the Safe Space. Safe Space is a place for you. Thank you so much for being part of the show today, and we are still continuing with this topic because we still have a lot to say about it. And I know even you who is still there, you still have some things you have questions in your mind which you would want us to talk about. So we are going to continue with the same topic in our next episode. Till next time, bye-bye.